Sandoni, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir. Can hear.
Yeah. ළමයි නැද්ද?
සර් මම ඩ්‍රොප් මේ මැසේජ් එකක් දැම්මා මේ අපි ඉක්මනින් ගෙන්න ගමු. අපි තව විනාඩි දෙකක් විතර බලමු සර්.
මේ අපි අනිත් දවසේ අපි 7:30 වගේ ප්ලෑන් කරමුද?
හරි සර් මම මේ මිස් ඔෂාදිට කියන්නම්.
මොකද මේ මෙතන තාම ළමයි මග.
ඔව් ඒක තමයි මටත් ඒක හිතුණා සර් මේ මම මිස් ඔෂාදිට කමියුනිකේට් කරන්නම් ටයිම් එක චේන්ජ් කරන්න කියලා.
හරි. හරි. Okay. Thank you. Hmm. Right, can you all see the screen, please? Can you hear me and can you see the screen? Yes.
Yes, can see, sir.
Right. Thank you. Okay, let's start then. Okay, today let's try to understand what level of coordination and what is customer service in terms of customer service, how or what are the things happening in the supply chain. And if you don't have customer service and the coordination to the required level in the supply chain, what will happen? So therefore, how you would ensure that there will be coordination and the supply chain, among the supply chain players and also the customer service to the required level. So when you manage your supply chain, you have to ensure that you have these supply chain coordination and supply chain, customer service in the supply chain. You have the required level. So these are the areas that we will be discussing, planning to discuss. So what do you mean by coordination then? So I believe by now you all know what is a supply chain and all those basics, elements of the supply chain. You have some idea. So I hope we have done it. There are different, flows of the supply chain, material flow, human resource flow, kind of a resource flow or resources flow, and also funds flow, information flow, like that. We have different flows in the supply chain. So it is a basically the supply chain is not really dimensional. It is multidimensional, definitely. So it is a network of supply chains, network of any supply chain as the result of an organization. If you take a supply chain is a network of supply chains, and supply chain is therefore system of organizations who are connected to achieve a particular purpose from the market. So it is a system of organizations. It will have definitely people, various information flows, activity flows, resources involved, moving products, services from one point of origin to point of consumption throughout the supply chain. So you can have a different level of definition, but this is what it is in many cases. So it is a network of supply chains. It is not two-dimensional, it is multi-dimensional. A network of supply chain established in an organized manner to fulfill a particular market requirement. So what about supply chain coordination then? So why coordination is required because you have to coordinate maybe the distribution center, from the distribution center to the market trucks and deliveries up to the distribution center, maybe various customers getting involved and bulk shipments are sent. So it will have to arrange sometimes separate sorting, cost of requirements, all these. And it is basically coordination is basically focused on improving the supply chain performance. If you don't have coordination among the players, different players and different supply chains established to fulfill a particular market demand, so that means performance may not be there or performance will be poor. Therefore, you have to align the objectives, plans of individual enterprises or the players of the supply chain towards achieving a basically common goal. So therefore, supply chain coordination focuses on sourcing decisions, inventory management decisions, warehouse decisions, logistics decisions, all these areas. You will be able to today, supply chain coordination is happening. So supply chain coordination, if somebody asks, it is basically improving the supply chain performance by aligning the plans and the objectives of each and every organization or individual organizations in the supply chain. I hope it is clear. So then what will happen if you don't have the required level of coordination? So this is quite important. What will happen if you don't have a required level of coordination? So supply chain coordination, if you coordinated the players in the supply chain in terms of scheduling, in terms of delivery, in terms of receiving raw materials from tier 1 suppliers, tier 2 suppliers, tier 3 suppliers, like that, maybe up to the X person who extracts. And from this side, you have to coordinate the market demands, customer demands, and how you will be making the delivery. Therefore, coordination in all these activities, whether you are getting required level of raw materials from the suppliers, whether the production will be happening to the required level, and so then tomorrow morning you will be able to fulfill the requirements of some customers, like that. So if the coordination is not there, sometimes nothing will happen to the required degree. So therefore, coordination will improve all these stages of the supply chain, operations, actions, and it will align then all these operations, increase the total supply chain performance. Therefore, coordination requires a lot of efforts, and you have to coordinate then each stage of the supply chain to share information and take into account that impact on the other actions, other players, if you don't do your part correctly. So you need to ensure that everybody is coordinated to the required level and everybody is producing results focusing on the main objectives of the supply chain. So if you don't have coordination, if there is lack of coordination, then so the different stages of the supply chain or the objectives, there'll be some conflicts, or because of moving, maybe information moving, because information moving between the stages will be delayed. As a result, sometimes the information will be distorted. So it will not be the actual picture that you will be getting across. So thereafter, anything can happen. Total supply chain will be sometimes affected. Therefore, one of the things which will happen during the coordination, so there'll be different stages of the supply chain, and if you don't have the coordination, conflicts will be there. Minissu අමුම රණ්ඩු වෙනවා. So therefore, so when it comes to supply chain coordination and decision making, you need to understand what competitive strategy. It can be cost-effective strategies and comparative strategies, whatever the strategies. And then from that, you will be deriving what is your strategy, supply chain strategy. So when you develop the supply chain strategy, you need to have a particular structure. Otherwise, the responsiveness will not be there. The supply chain will not be managing efficiently. And if you don't have people in the processes, in the place, then it will be very difficult otherwise to achieve the standard expected results. So there are different drivers. We learned, I think, first day when we introduced supply chain, the different drivers of the supply chain. Already there are 6 drivers we were talking about. So facilities, inventory and transportation in terms of logistical drivers, cross-functional drivers, information, sourcing and pricing. So if you can do logistics drivers well, and if you can do cross-functional drivers well, your supply chain structure works, and so therefore efficiency should be there. So that is the decision-making framework when it comes to supply chain. Also, one of the critical effects that supply chains will have when there is no coordination, no to the required level of coordination, all stages what we discussed earlier will, you can collapse sometimes or not aligned. And here and there will be a lot of variances and stocks may be carrying out. So there will be supply chain surplus. So each stage in the supply chain management, therefore, you need to share the critical information and you have to take action on the effects. So each and every situation, it will be an basically deciding point. So therefore, lack of coordination, so will be resulting in different stages of the conflicts of objectives of different stages may be conflicting, and also information moving between stages is delayed, or in many cases informations are not the real actual information that you will be going, and it goes through, especially stage 1, stage 2, each stage information will be distorted. So therefore, when you don't have coordination, it is very difficult, and you have to be very careful. So when it comes to even in your assignments and other things. So lack of coordination will cause a lot of efforts, a lot of different results, negative aspects. So therefore you have to the coordination is a must. Coordination is a must. Without coordination, then again, it will be nowhere. Just give me a second. So when you don't have coordination, or if there is poor coordination, what will be the effect on performance? So when supply chains, when they don't have the required level of coordination, each and every stage will have impacts. So ultimately, it will be a cumulative impact that cascading down to totally poor communication. So therefore, when there is no coordination in the supply chain, it will not be earning planned profits. It will be dropped, definitely, no two words about it. So therefore, performance when it comes to supply chains, there will be different types of cost, and you can measure the performance of the supply chain by these indicators. It can be manufacturing cost, inventory holding cost, replenishment of material and components, then lead time, total transportation cost, labor cost, levels of product availability, and relationships, different levels across the supply chains. And there'll be special areas, the lack of coordination of performance will be increase in the transportation cost, as we have already discussed, manufacturing cost and all these. Therefore, labor cost for shipping and receiving, level of product availability, and also relationships across the supply chain, as we have already discussed. So therefore, you can see the effect on performance measure, manufacturing cost, inventory cost, replenishment, transportation, shipping and receiving. At the end of the day, profitability, how it will be impacting. So each and every cost element, how it will be impacting. So manufacturing cost will be increased. Inventory cost increased, replenishment increased, transportation cost has increased, shipping and receiving cost, yes, there will be so many shipments will be receiving, it will be increased. And level of productivity, so if the performance is poor, then it will decrease. So profitability is the result of all these, and profitability will also be decreasing. And this is what is happening sometimes in the marketplace in terms of performance of supply chains. So you can have so many case studies. So the Ford Motor Company, depending on the item, more than 60,000 items into a car. So they are ordering different components from different suppliers, and from Goodyear to Motorola. And each of these suppliers has many suppliers in turn, that is tier 1 suppliers, tier 2 suppliers, tier 3 suppliers, up to the nature. So there are so many stages, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, like that. So you have you have the manufacturing plant, then you have direct supply of components, that is tier 1 supplier. Then these suppliers you have, that is tier 2 suppliers. So these organizations, these suppliers have next level of suppliers, tier 3, maybe tier 4 available, nature. So like that, you can have that kind of hierarchical establishment. So each stage, you need to focus on objectives, but information may be 100% not accurate. So due to various dynamics. One of the things which is happening when it comes to coordination, one of the things which will basically be the results of not practicing these norms properly, will be the bullwhip effect. It is basically called the bullwhip effect. Bullwhip. Bullwhip කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Can somebody tell me what is bullwhip? Yes, anybody? So what do you mean by bullwhip?
It is
Bullwhip
something
කියන්නේ කසේ. හරි.
used to control horses.
Yes. Or man on the horse using kase to control the cows. That is the cowboy's job. So the lack of coordination, one of the effect is this kase effect. What is this? How it will happen? So you'll have kase then. මේ තියෙන කසේ මේකේ පොඩි වේව් එකක් දුන්නාම ඒ වේව් එක ඊළඟට එහාට යන්න යන්න ටිකක් ලොකු වෙලා ඔය විදියට යනවා. දැන් මේක තමයි supply chain එකේ තියෙන effect එක. අපි පොඩි වේව් එකක් මුලින් දුන්නාම supply chain එක මේක ලොකුවට අරගෙන ඒක ලොකු කරගන්න. මේක වෙන්නේ ඇයි? Main thing is you have not controlled the bullwhip effect. So if you or anybody, you should understand then what is this kase katandari, bullwhip effect. Now, how can this happen? When there is no coordination, sometimes they say in the marketplace, due to a particular reason, not that it will happen daily, but maybe once in a month, everybody will be happy if they can get some kind of service or product. So when, for some reason, when the demand is increased for a particular product, the product demand එක වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒතර ඊළඟ supplier මේ දැන් finish good එකක් නම් අපි හිතමු a particular finished good before the single is new year, they have launched maybe only 20th December or 20th or 10th March, 10th April. So what will happen then? පිටුමු product demand එක වැඩි වෙනවා. Due to a college event or whatever it is. If suppliers think, මේ වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙච්චරක් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේක ඊළඟ period එක එනකොට month එක එනකොට තවත් වැඩි වෙනවා. ඊළඟ month එකට තවත් වැඩි වෙනවා. අවසානයේදී patient decides to discontinue. What will happen then? Now, you as a person, you have your retailers tells you that there is a small demand and now the demand is increased and demand will be increasing. That is the view of the salespeople, but no sometimes proper grounded rules or scientific theory behind this.
So is this, sir, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, is this effect, I think this effect affected only to small businesses and SMEs, not for the conglomerate and other corporate level businesses. Because when we take big organizations, conglomerates, they have strategies to understand the buying behavior of consumers. Is that correct?
I agree with you to some extent. Why it is happening mainly in small and big medium-sized organizations, why not in large organizations? So මම මේක පොඩ්ඩක් තව explain කරලා මෙන්නම්. ඒතකොට supplier හිතනවා I'll come back to your question. ඒතකොට retailers ලා ඔක්කොගෙම retailers හිතනවා ඊට පස්සේ demand එක වැඩි, retailers ලා ඔක්කොම retailers ලා තව පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි කරලා ඉල්ලනවා. ඒතකොට retailers ලාගේ demand එක wholesalers ලාට ආවහම wholesalers ලා හිතනවා my god then demand is increased and they demand the supply order from the customer suppliers more. So that is wholesalers. So when the manufacturing organization, when they get increased quantities of demand from the quantities of orders from the wholesalers, producer think so this is the demand in the future and he will increase further, and so this is the demand of the organization. Then tier 1 suppliers to this business, tier 1 suppliers, that in the raw material suppliers think, okay, hereafter demand will be increased, they will be ordering or manufacturing more. Then it goes to tier 2 suppliers, tier 3 suppliers, and at the end of the day, it will be basically nature. Up to the nature, you can see these kind of defects. Coming back to your question, why multinationals and major organizations, they don't have this effect that much. If now one of the reasons that this will happen is there is no proper coordination between the maybe the producer and the supplier and different levels of people. So therefore, if the large organizations, they have understood these factors, and when they implement systems, it is already there. On top of that, they might give you a lot of training. In all these situations, these things will be highlighted, and you can straight away pick these kind of ideas and give some suggestions. So bullwhip effect is this. But major organizations, large organizations, it will be minimum because they have mechanisms to share information then and there. But in the case of SMEs and small organizations, they have not spent that tough money, that they have not spent that level of money to have better communication. So when you have the large organization, if you have taken full version of SAP, the SAP will be talking to other people, and SAP will be suggest, hey, my God, there's unprecedented increase in the demand for finished good. Be careful whether it is real or not. And today, with AI, this is very important. With AI, what is happening? Now, some time back, we were talking about quaternary industry. I think I discussed with you all quaternary industry. What do you mean by quaternary industry? Yes? Somebody please? What is quaternary industry? Introduction. So what is quaternary industry? Anybody please?
Knowledge-based industries and services.
So it is knowledge-based, but most of the industry will be knowledge-based. Thank you very much for the response. But this particular industry data, it is data analytics. Now, what has happened to this? Now, this is data analytics. Now, when you are given the assignment, you just go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, this particular lecturer has given me this assignment. Why not you give me the answer? Then all these AI are basically, most of them are very poor, audiences. They'll be obedient. So they'll immediately transfer you some data. But today, what has happened to data analytics? අපි data analytics වලදී අපි කතා කරා data analytics. We talk about data analytics, then we have to. So one thing is you have raw data here, hope you can remember. Then you have information. When you organize data, information will become knowledge then. And knowledge will help you to reach wisdom. So this is where the wisdom is. So how then raw data will not be, it is a waste actually, you can't use it. But classified data and the knowledge is widely used to achieve certain pinnacle, maybe the wisdom. So this is what normally that will happen. So what I'm going to tell you was, so this particular fourth level industry, quaternary industry, with AI tool today, you don't have to have those basic learnings in data analytics. You can tell AI, okay, I want to analyze, for the past 6 months, I want to analyze ABC analysis of this organization. So he will say, please give me data. Oh, don't worry. I will be taking data and you'll be given the report. Okay, these there are 5 items belongs to A, like that. There are maybe 12 items B and maybe 60 items category C. So there, then if you are an experienced person over the period of time, you might say, so there can be some 5% or 4% error here, but this is reasonable and let's take. So that type of decisions will be taken. So that is why AI on the other side is important. So all this now the information traveling through in that, the case, information that will be traveling through may not be the real information. It is distorted. So when you have these kind of distorted data, you will not be able to get the real picture. And it will be a worst case on the other side. So what do you do then? So we have discussed, this is from the customers, you have a small scale, retailer වැඩි වෙලා, wholesaler තවත් වැඩි වෙලා, manufacturer තවත් වැඩි වෙලා, supplier තවත් වැඩි වෙලා, then supplier some more increase, like that. And this is called the bullwhip effect. So why? How to control this bullwhip effect? So you understand the meaning then. Bullwhip. The small fluctuation in a demand at the retail level can cause progressively larger fluctuation in demand at the wholesales, distributor, manufacturer, or even beyond that. So these are some of the reasons or causes for bullwhip. Inventory, you are managing huge amounts. How much of money tied up sometimes even with those inventories. Customer service is very poor. So they never talk to the customers. And lost revenue throughout the supply chain. So how do you make money out of it? And on the other side, capacity plans not properly developed due to various reasons. In a class where you have put 60 people, you have only 25 people. Maybe the next year, same class, some more less. Misguided capacity plans, and there's no effective decision making, and ineffective transportation will also be organized, and missed product schedules. They're totally upside down. So this particular effect that is causing this, mainly from supply chain management area, is called the bullwhip effect. So the bullwhip effect will be used to control the practically maybe some different situations, especially inventory. So if the data is asked with a particular retailer, if the quantity is increased, then the data analytics and AI, through AI, you should be able to understand this is not the general scenario that hereafter demand will be increased just because a particular reason, this retailer, the demand has been increased a little bit, but only for that particular item. So if you have that kind of relationship open in discussion, so it will minimize the effect of the goodwill and effect of the inventories that you are maintaining. So under any circumstances, it is not prohibited to increase more and more raw material. What will happen at the end of the day, you'll be getting caught to bullwhip. Let me tell a very practical example. Due to COVID-19 and the economic disruption, at that time, many people started cycling to workplaces, bicycling. So if the office is within 5 to 10 kilometers radius, coming to the office or using the bicycle as a mode of transportation is nothing. So it is very simple, 10 kilometers, sometimes it may be 20, 30 minutes. I also thought at that time I was going to NIBM and the Columbia University. I also thought some of the lecturers of the Columbia University already they have purchased bicycles and they have started coming to the university by bicycles. So I thought I also would be buy and I go to cycle basa. Visipa ඇතුල් කරන්න. මට ඒක හරියන්නේ මං එන්න ආවා. But after that, after 2-3 months time, I visited. Nobody was there. Cycle Basa, when I visited, nobody was there. But there is a huge stock of bicycles. Very large stock of bicycles. Then that particular assistant manager is known to me. And I asked, what is happening? May we get in that? Sir, it was okay. Prices උත් හෙනට වැඩි වුණා මොකද ඩොලර් එක 360 ගානේ ගෙනා. ඒ වෙලාවේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ පුදුම කඩිමුඩියක් ඩිමාන්ඩ් එකක් නැති වුණේ අපි හිතුවා මේක ටිකටම තියයි කියලා. අපි ඕඩර් කරා ඇට රේට්. දැන් මේ යන්නේ නැහැ මේක හෙල්ලෙන්නේවත් නැහැ. අනිත් එක දැන් අපි ලොකු ට්‍රැප් එකක වැටලා ඉන්නේ. මොකද ඒ දවස්වල ඩොලර් එක 360ට ගෙනාපුවා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මේ බයිසිකලේම ඩොලර් එක 312ට ගේනකොට මීට වඩා ගොඩක් අඩුයි. මේ සමහර අපේ සප්ලයර්ස් ලාගේ දැන් තියෙනවා මේක ඒගොල්ලෝ දැන් තියෙන ඩොලර් රේට් එකට ගෙනහල්ලා මීට වඩා රුපියල් 40000ක් විතර බයිසිකල් ඒගොල්ලෝගේ අඩුයි. අද වුණත් ගිහලා සයිකල් බසාර් එකේ බලන්න ඒ දවස්වල ගෙනාවු බයිසිකල් තාම විකිල්ලා නැහැ. මේක තමයි අන්තිමට සිද්ධ වෙන දරුණුම ඛේදවාචකයේ බුල්ලිප් ඉෆෙක්ට් එකේ you are holding inventories very large quantities throughout the supply chain. It can be wholesaler, manufacturer, supplier. මේ විදිහට දිගටම ගත්තොත් ලොකු ඉන්වෙන්ටරි තොගයක් මුළු supply chain එකේම තියෙනවා. මේවා ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න. I'm a consultant and I am consulting now the moment 5 organizations. Even today, I was with one of the largest organizations in the country. So, one of the three largest spare parts importers to the country. එතකොට මේ එක spare parts importer කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. He has got basically 85,000 spare parts. එක models වල. මෙයාගෙත් මේ effect එකම තියෙනවා. ඩොලර් එක 365යි. ඒ දවස්වල ස්පෙයා පාර්ට්ස් ඕඩර් කරපුවා අද warehouses වල ලොකු ඉන්වෙන්ටරි එකක් තියාගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඒ අපි හිතමු shock absorber එකක් ඕඩර් කරා කියලා ඩොලර් එක 365 ගානේ shock absorbers වලට අපි හිතමු ලෝකල් වලට කැල්කියුලේට් කරාම රුපියල් 25000ක් වෙනවා. ඒතර මේක 30000කටවත් දෙන්න ඕන. ප්‍රයිස් එක 30000යි. ඩොලර් එක 365 ගානේ ගෙනාපුවා. අද ඩොලර් එක අපි හිතමු 312ට ආපු වෙලාවේ ගෙනාපු තියෙනවා. අද නම් 330ක් විතර 12ට ආපුවායි ගෙනාවලා තියෙනවා. කොස්ට් වෙලා තියෙන රුපියල් 15000යි. ඒගොල්ලෝ 18 මාකට් එකේ විකුණනවා. මේක 30000යි. මේ ලෝකේ යකෙක් මොලේ තියෙන කිසිම මිනිහෙක් ගන්න නැහනේ. එකම භාණ්ඩේ 18 තියෙනකොට 35ට ගන්න පිස්සුවක් නෙවෙයිනේ. ඉතින් බඩු ටීවී විකිනෙන්නේ නැහැ. So we decided, actually that was our advice to them, even at a cost and even at a loss situation, you have to sell these items and get rid of those items, because managing still these items in the stocks will be a cost to the organization. And you will never ever be able to recover those costs by selling those items. So we came up with some strategies then, how you will be able to manage. So the pricing theory is a wonderful thing. So one of the strategies we decided to apply is recovering the loss of these items from the items that we sell now. There are some items we are selling now. Say you bring another item, so you have a stock of shock absorbers, but you are selling some other item now. Maybe you have windscreens. So normal price may be, let's say 100,000 rupees a windscreen. So each shock absorber, you are making a loss of maybe 20,000 here. Instead of selling it 100,000, you sell these windscreens at 110,000. So you are recovering part of this cost in a totally new, different item. Increasing the price of that item, you would recover your losses from those items. Throughout the market, you can see this is taking place and this is happening. As a result, almost all the spare parts have gone up by 10 to 15 to 20% because of these reasons. So these are very practical ways how bullwhip effect is basically managed differently in some organizations. So the bullwhip effect is fluctuation of orders throughout the supply chain, starting from customers and retailers. So distorting the demand information within the supply chain, and results of loss of supply chain coordination. As a result, what will happen? You are increasing. Now here you can see. So the customer sales, normal, almost. Retailers, demand is increased a little bit. Then from the retailers, it goes to the wholesalers. You can see more fluctuations. From the wholesalers, you go to suppliers, lot of fluctuations. So this is called the bullwhip effect. I'm not going to read this, but you have to read, and these are some details of bullwhip effect as we have already explained. So you have the customer end small increase, wholesaler little bit higher, distribution center, and finally supplier. So this is how throughout the supply chain it will be behaving there. So towards the bullwhip effect, So many factors causing bullwhip effect or contributors. So disorganization. So between each supply chain, so link or the connections and ununiformly or in ordering, because you thought you're getting more orders and you increase 5%, then from the retailer to wholesaler, he might increase 20%. So like that, it occurs throughout the supply chain. Uniformity in ordering. So therefore, there's a reaction. Then at the end of the day, the supply chain will be full of, it will have a lot of raw material and other stocks. One of the reasons this is lack of coordination and lack of communication between the between the players of the supply chain. Sometimes in the US kind of countries, there is a policy that if you buy a today shirt or whatever the garments, if you think that it is not fitting to you tomorrow, you can return it and no questions asked. If you want money, they will pay you money. If you otherwise, they will advise you to buy something else. So then you don't have to pay. So make free return policy. This is the free return policy. So therefore, people tend to return more items. So there will be a huge operational effort to collect these returns. And they order more. And following day they return. Sometimes හොඳට පාටි එකකට ඇදලා රේමේ කරලා වෙඩින් එකකට ගෙනල්ලා එහෙම return කරනවා. And order batching is another thing. It is not just in time, you order only the required item, but you are ordering a batch. You increase the batch quantity. You used to order a batch of 1,000. Because of this effect, you might order 1,500. Larger batches. The variability in the demand, as there may be a surge in demand. So some stages, no demand, but you have already ordered a larger quantity. So therefore, there's some batching issue. So bullwhip effect causes a lot of the effects at the end of the day. So it will increase the demand fluctuation. Origin of demand fluctuation may be smaller, and you understand what will happen as we explained. Relevant to entire supply chain at the end of the day. So effect causes different variability in the upstream and the downstream of the supply chain, mainly increase in the levels of stocks. What should you do, or how do you eliminate the effect? So these are some suggestions, some measures that have been proposed to decrease the effect. How you will be doing it? Just give me a second. Okay. You understand, everybody understand what is bullwhip effect now? We have got about 10 people now. I will create 2 breakout rooms. What you have to discuss in the breakout room is what is bullwhip effect and what are the mechanisms to control it. You can read any book. You can use any AI tool. But we'll take about, and I'll give you about maybe 6-7 minutes. And as a team, you have to discuss and find some ways to minimize the effect of bullwhip effect. How you will be minimizing the bullwhip effect. and at the same time agree on somebody and tell somebody when you are called out to the main room. Sorry. Present it. නැත්නම් ඒ වෙලාවට කියනවා ඔයා කරන්න හරි මේ කියලා වෙලා යනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩිස්කස් කරන වෙලාවෙම තීරණය කරගන්න කවුද ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන්නේ කියලා. And discuss in the room. So I'm going to create now 2 breakout rooms. So immediately when you have the join function against your name, please join the workout rooms. Discuss what is workout, the bully effect first. Then discuss how to control the bully effect. At least 5-6 initiatives. Go to ChatGPT, go to any AI tool, and anyhow you have to bring knowledge to the classroom. Decide who will be presenting, and I'll give you the time now is 7:58, maybe till 8:586, say 8:6, the time will be given. So breakout rooms I'm going to create now. I hope you know how to work in breakout rooms. I have created 2 rooms, and I'm going to open now. When I open, you get the message, join, start discussing quickly. Please join now. Okay, 2-3 people have joined. Please, others please join. Room 2 only 2 people, yes, 3 people. So there are 4 people not yet joined. Yes. 4 people not yet joined. Rikas, Tarini and Upali not joined yet. Rikas, Tarini, Upali, Ratnayaka, please join. Good evening, good evening. කියන්න. මේ ඕපන් යුනිවර්සිටි ලෙක්චර් එක මම ඉන්නේ කවන්නේ මම එක්ස්කියුස් කරා කියන්න. නෑ කවන්නේ. නෑ දැන් කියන්නකෝ මම එක්ස්කියුස් කරලා ඉන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට බ්‍රේක් අවුට් රූම් එකකට දාලා තියෙන්නේ. ඔව්. ඔව්. පුළුවන්. ඔව්. ඔව්. ටයිම් එක පොඩ්ඩක් හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. මම පොඩ්ඩක් බලලා ඉවරලා කියන්න. මම කතා කෝල් කරනවා ඔයාලට. හරි. ඕකේ. හරි. ඕකේ. thank you. Bye. I hope you can hear me. So we have two rooms, but some people like maybe Rika, Supali, they didn't join. I don't know the reasons. Anyway, some people about three people left the class also. I don't know really the reasons why these things are happening. Anyway, can we present your case? Room one, Ashok, then Vitanage and Situ. Who is presenting?
I am presenting, sir.
Please go
Uh,
ahead.
Yeah. You ask what is the bullwhip effect? We got it as a supply chain problem where small sudden shift in consumer demand, which cause massive fluctuations throughout the upstream tiers of the supply chain.
Okay.
We have
Yeah.
identified some solutions to control bullwhip effect. And then
Okay.
we got it as improve supply chain visibility and streamline communication and collaboration. Use demand forecasting best practices using AI tools and other strategies, strengthen supplier relationships. And also we uh, we discussed that reduced order batching also will help to control this effect. That's all, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. What about room two?
Subramanian, I am
Maybe.
going to do it.
Okay,
Okay,
please go ahead.
Okay, from the
Yeah.
definition, we got the definition: small fluctuation in the retail demand cause progressively larger swings in demand moving upstream in the supply chain. That's the definition.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the basic solution, in a nutshell, moving from the reactive supply chain to the integrated collaborative one. That's in a nutshell solution. So we will do what are the actions to be taken. First one, information sharing. Root cause of the bullwhip effect is the distortion of information. Hence, sharing information will help to minimize. First one. Second one, collaborative planning. Without seeking isolated forecasting, if all the partners of the supply chain get together and plan, then they can reduce this bullwhip effect. Third, maintaining the vendor managed inventory based on real-time data without taking the any other data. Fourth one, operational streamlining. That means when the lead time is large, they have to stockpile more amount because it will take time to replenish. So if we can reduce the lead time, we can have the less amount stock and that will reduce the bullwhip effect. Some other one is cross stocking. In this cross stocking is from distributor to supplier. That things are transferred, so there is less in between people. So it will also help to reduce the bullwhip effect. Other one is the modification of order batching. We are instead of ordering a large batch of items, if we can do it bi-weekly or weekly and small batches, that will also reduce our bullwhip effect. The final one is the maintaining a fixed price. If the prices are reduced suddenly to as discounts, people try to buy more, and this will give you a false information that there's demand increase. So if the prices are maintained at the same level, that bullwhip effect will not be there. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Very good analysis, good suggestions. I think you have done a good job. So needs maybe clapping is required. So really good. Thank you very much. So accurate forecasting is one of the things that you all discussed. So directly associated with demand forecasting, because when the consumers increase a little bit, it goes to the retailers, from the retailers, then wholesalers, like that, throughout the supply chain, throughout the upstream of the supply chain. So the proposed solution basically, therefore, combination of these basically transforms analysis and maybe going through the networks that is not there, but generally coordinating with each and every player in the supply chain. The simple answer is basically lack of coordination, as you have all have correctly highlighted. So we need to coordinate then throughout the supply chain. So you can read some of these examples. So what are the obstacles to coordination then? You have to coordinate and get these things reduced. So there are some obstacles to coordination as well. And there are different types of obstacles. Some struggles may be related to information processing. Some may be operational, pricing, incentive obstacles, or behavioral obstacles for coordination even. So the coordination also you need to do very carefully. So one of the obstacles will be the information processing. So when you have poorly organized or poorly managed information channels in the supply chain, so information quality will be deteriorated. So when you don't have a proper channel to communicate it to your employees or whoever the authorities or people, the information will get deteriorated. Hari information එක යන්නේ නැහැ. So the information may be on customer demand, cannot reach members in a supply chain in a timely manner, or information is not available to some members who might need it badly. So information on customer demand. So you are selling items, you are not, so you are the supplier, you are selling products to your retailer. Retailer is the one who will be capturing this information, the demand fluctuation. But if the retailer doesn't send that information to the wholesaler, and if the wholesaler doesn't talk to the producers, then information will not be reaching the required people in a timely manner. So that is an obstacle. If you have a barrier in your arrangements, that information reaching is not happening to the required level, so that is a barrier. Information processing obstacles, lack of information sharing. There are operational obstacles. So when orders are placed with the suppliers or the customers, sometimes variability, ordering sometimes larger lots. You have described how much, what is the economic order quantity you have decided. But still, because of the feel that there will be higher demand, they will be ordering more, larger lots. And suppliers might take, therefore, larger lead time replenishment times, because there are all the orders are very big orders and they will not be able to compete. And storage gaming. So that's another thing. You are ordering larger quantities and stores, they don't have enough space. They are struggling at the end of the day. Maybe you will be leasing out some more places that can basically extend the warehousing facility, just because bullwhip is not controlled properly. So this is another explanation, the rationale of obstacles. So different situations, the demand fluctuation is explained. And you have operational obstacles, as we discussed, larger sizes and all. Pricing obstacles at the same time. Pricing policy, when you don't have a pricing policy, it is worst actually. Increase in variability in orders placed, a lot size place quantity decisions, price fluctuations, offering ad hoc discounts. All these will be affecting at the end of the day final, the financial status. Then pricing obstacles, as we discussed, some pricing mechanism, lot size decisions, price fluctuations. you are given an example here. A company may overbuy its supplier, offers a discount on a larger lots of orders. So it is a demand exceptionally large, but members in the upstream supply chain can't rely on these sales figures to forecast future demand. Sometimes suppliers, due to various reasons, they are offering maybe say 20% discount, 30% discount. Very rarely you get sometimes this kind of discussion, but maybe the person who is getting the offer might be reaching even the highest position managing director of the organizations and get approval. If he approves, what will happen? They will be they will not look into the warehouses, their capacities, how much they can stop and all, order and all. So there will be deliveries, and they can't house all the deliveries. And at the end of the day, they will be taking adjacent or surrounding houses on rent. Then you will be issuing or you'll be incurring more than you saved on inventory management, savings, storing. So you can see how pricing obstacles are happening. Then incentive obstacles, when not all organizations, but some organizations are offering incentives to participants in the supply chain, expecting that there will be increase in the productivity and reduce the total supply chain profits at the end of the day. Because they increase the variability at the end of the day, the optimization within the functions and sales force incentives. So these are huge incentives, and these incentives will be consuming into profits, and profits will be reducing. So you will not be able to, it is coming to then to the level that you will not be able to sustain. So incentive obstacle. So we have discussed all these obstacles. So there's a small duplication here. I will have to remove it. Okay. So how do you improve the information accuracy? Because one of the critical things that will happen in the will be the inaccuracy of information. So you will be able to, if you can share, you can share in this, you share this point of sale data, POS data, point of sale, collaborative forecasting and planning. So you'll be able to, if you can implement this kind of concept, and single stage control replenishment, continuous replenishment programs, techniques and concepts like VMI, vendor managed inventories. So you'll be able to control to some extent then. Sharing sales positive of data, all these things, and continuous replenishment programs and vendor managed inventories. Operational performance, how you will be, you would improve. Reduce replenishment lead time. So if you have taken 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, you try to reduce it then and there. The replenishment immediately should happen. Lot size reduce. Maybe it is business to business case using technology. Reduce the lot sizes. Technology and other methods to simplify the receiving process should be ensured. Put away process should be, maybe if possible, automated. So these are some of the, so information sharing, all these things, less than a truckload always. So you are improving less than a truckload concept to full truckload. So the transportation of empty space and the cost will be reduced. Replenish your lead time, reduce lot sizes, and also encouraging retailers to order small lots rather than total lots, price stability, eliminate promotions every day, low prices kind of. So you can't have every day these kind of slogans, and building strategic partnerships and trust always is, and it is easier to implement these approaches. So the building strategic partnerships, trust between the people. So pricing strategies is another thing that is leading towards this. So the smaller lots, you are encouraging orders or the retailer or the suppliers to, or the retailers to order small lots. So the lot sizes is moved from the larger lot size to smaller lot size. And you are moving then away from the quantity discounts, because later you will understand quantity discount will not be the right thing. You need a lot of space. Price stability will be there. Otherwise, there will be a lot of different types of discounts to be issued before those things get to the expiry date. And strategic partnerships, this is another critical thing that you will be doing, developing strategic partnerships. We'll talk about it later, how to build strategic partnerships. So we have discussed this, trust and work, all these things. So continuous replenishment is one of the initiatives that you should be practicing, and other one, if possible, vendor managed inventories or the VMI. So CRP is continuous replenishment. So that is a program, continuous replenishment programs, or CRPs. So the manufacturer replenish the retailer regularly based on the point of sale data. So the manufacturers, they are distributing their products to retailers, maybe supermarkets or shopping malls or whatever the scale. So the distribution or the replenishment should happen daily based on the point of sale data only. That is the most important part here, is you are taking a decision on the quantity based on the demand at POS. So then you will not be ordering thumping amounts. Just what you have sold, you are replenishing. Then your inventory will not be piling up. And you will not be ordering with others also similar way, and you are controlling the inventory throughout. I hope it is understood. And also managed by supplier, distributor, and sometimes managing the supplier and the distributor through a 3PL organization, third-party logistics organization. So CRP is basically driven by an actual withdrawal of inventory from retail warehouses rather than POF data. So if you can organize as per the POF, point of sale data, whenever, without any delay, without any obstacle, you are pulling out and bringing relevant stocks only, then you will be minimizing the total stocks. So also you will be able to find substitutes for the products. So the continuous replenishment and vendor managed inventories will help you then. So we'll discuss what is VMI. What is VMI? Can somebody explain what is VMI? Yes, what is VMI?
Vendor managed inventory.
Yes. What do you mean by vendor?
The last person who the retailer. Is it
Okay. Vendor manage inventory. Who is the vendor here?
They supplier.
So vendor means the vendor supplier. You are right.
Yeah, when they can detect, when they can monitor the stock level of his supplies, there should, in developed countries, there are electronic method, yeah, like RFID tags and things. Then automatically he will be notified the stock level, and then he can send relevant quantities to that shell.
Right. Okay. Let's see a small video on this. That was a good one. Can't find it now. VMI. So there was one here. Okay. Vendor manage inventory explained. So you can.
You're hiding something.
I'm not hiding anything.
You just turned your phone away.
It's articulation training, 9 minutes a day.
Articulation.
What if suppliers could manage your inventory for you, deciding when to ship?
Okay. Can you all see the video and can you hear the sound?
Yes, sir. Video is little bit blur, sir.
Can you all
but
see the video and can you hear the sound, please?
video is little bit blur, sir.
Okay.
So if you
So
can switch off your camera, I think we can see the video clearly.
okay. Right. Just check.
How much to send, and making sure you never run out of stock. That's the concept of vendor managed inventory, or VMI. In this video, we will explain what VMI is, how it works step by step, the benefits, the risks, and the real world examples of companies that use it successfully. Vendor managed inventory is a supply chain strategy where suppliers take responsibility for managing inventory levels at customers' location. The suppliers monitor stock levels, forecast demand, and replenishes product automatically. The customer does not need to place frequent purchase orders. The vendors ensure stock availability. It's like having your suppliers as your inventory manager. How VMI works step by step. Here's how a typical VMI program works. The first step is agreement setup. Supplier and customer agree on terms, product, service levels, and replenishment rules. Data sharing. Customer provides sales data, inventory levels, and forecasts to the supplier. Monitoring. Supplier tracks stock at the customer site using software, EDI, or regular reports. Replenishment. Supplier ships goods automatically when inventory drops below a certain point. Billing. Customer pays once products are delivered or sold, depending on the agreement. Benefits of VMI. For customers, it's reduced stock out. Suppliers ensure shelves are always filled. Lower administrative work. No need to create purchase orders for every restock. Improved cash flow. Customers only pay when products arrive, not when they sit in warehouses. Focus on core business. Retailers can focus on selling, not managing stock. For suppliers, better demand visibility. Access to real sales data improves forecasts. Stronger relationships. Becomes a trusted partner, not just a vendor. Stable production planning. Predictable demand reduces last-minute order spikes. Increased sales. More accurate replenishment keeps products in front of customers. Of course, VMI also comes with challenges. There are risks of vendor managed inventory. For customers, loss of control. Suppliers decide replenishment, which may not align with customer strategy. Data sharing concerns requires transparency about sales and inventory data. Dependence on supplier. If the supplier underperforms, the customer suffers. For suppliers, responsibility and risk. If stockouts happen, blame often falls on the vendor. Higher costs, more logistics responsibility, frequent deliveries. Complex systems requires investment in IT systems for monitoring and forecasting. Real world examples of VMI. Some of the biggest companies in the world rely on VMI. Walmart and P&G. P&G monitors Walmart's sales data directly and automatically ships products to keep shelves stocked. Dell Computers uses VMI with component suppliers to ensure uninterrupted production. Pharmaceuticals. Hospitals use VMI to avoid running out of life-saving drugs. These examples show how VMI creates stronger supply chain partnerships and reduces inefficiencies. Best practices for VMI. To make VMI successful, companies should follow a few best practices. Trust and collaboration. Both parties must share accurate real-time data. Clear agreements. Define stock levels, delivery times, and payment terms. Technology integration. Use ERP systems, EDI or cloud-based platforms. Regular reviews. Adjust rules as demand or supply conditions change. So that's vendor managed inventory. For customers, it means fewer stockouts and less admin work. For suppliers, it means better visibility and stronger relationship. But like any system, it requires trust, data sharing, and solid agreements to avoid risks. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more supply chain and inventory management insights. And in the comments, tell me, would you trust your supplier to manage your inventory?
Okay. I hope you got the idea then. Vendor manage inventories. Vendor is managing inventory on behalf of the organization. That is vendor managed. Let me explain my experience on VMI at MAS. One of the first VMI initiatives. So first of all, we tried to actually with non-critical items, because if something goes wrong with the critical items, we can't do that much of experience or the experiments. What will happen? There's one organization by the name of Noyan Lanka in Biagam actually. In this organization, let's assume this is the total flow space, production flow. You have about this much, about 1/4 of the production area given to packing material. Packing material. So these areas, you have production machines. So we are producing lace here. So we have about 1/4 of the floor space allocated to packing material, and you have one executive and 2 helpers to manage this place, in managing this place. So we did what we did. We So there are so many people, so many suppliers, boxes, but we introduce all these different types of boxes to one supplier and ask whether that supplier. Now here we are holding about 30 days stock. 30 days stock. It is a huge cost. We ask them whether they can manage to maintain only 2 days stock. So they say, they conditionally said yes. They were worried about our employees and making it a difficult time for them. Of course, some tried that way. So they agreed to maintain 2 days stock. And we gave our executive and the 2 helpers to them. So then they don't have to train people, and they have got already 2 or 3 known people to them. So they were managing the issue so many times, these stocks of these machines, and they collect information. When they collected information for 1 week, we pay them. For 1 week, for the quantity we have consumed. So not like earlier. Earlier we had our own stock here. Our own, we have already paid. But here they are maintaining stocks that we have not yet paid. Then once a week for the used quantity, so he'll be responsible for making those reports and on the consumptions that we pay. So until such time it goes to the cashier and pay, item is not ours. It belongs to the vendor. Vendor is managing inventory on behalf of us, and that is vendor manage. So even in supermarkets, when you go to the supermarket next, even in Sri Lankan supermarket, they are managing this. They just provide only the shelf space. They just provide only the shelf space. Then they gather information from the point of sale data, how many units that we have sold, and for that amount they pay. That is also with a credit period. Depend on. So later this model was very successful, and this vendor was introducing it to some other companies as well. Now here then.
So here you told that vendor bring items for 2 days, right?
Yes, only for 2 days.
Yeah. Then what about his delivery cost? Because earlier he came once a month. Now he has to come to your factory 15 days per
Earlier
month.
also, earlier deliveries also he came sometimes two times a week, bringing a lot of stuff. Order quantities were larger. But here, you are right, we actually did not give them the total space. We gave only half of this. They have to manage. That is why earlier we had about 30 days stock. But we asked them to only 2 days stock. Have it 2 days. So every day there are deliveries for the next 2 days. Every day there were deliveries of the next 2 days. And they are not coming only to our company in the zone. They are bringing stuff for other companies as well. Anyway, sometimes they are coming to the zone every day. So it is not a very big incremental transportation cost for them. Anyway, they are coming. And this quantity that they bring also very smaller, because only for 2 days, next 2 days they bring. And very, basically practically very dynamic. they were very busy. But we pay them after 1 week for the quantity that we used. On top of that, 50% of the space we saved here, you won't believe people played badminton on the saved space. In the evening, sometimes they played badminton. But later, what did we do? We installed machines even in this area. And we increased the machine production space instead of material holding space. All in all, it is a very, the first project was very successful and it was a revolutionized project. Did I answer your question?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you also
Okay, so
get that benefit of low usage of forklift and other equipments, right?
Yeah. Actually, we gave them the executive and the two helpers. Then in those areas, they didn't have to train people and they had already trained people, and we later transfer them from our payroll to their payroll. So with some, salary increments, of course. So like that, so people were also happy. Otherwise, it will not work. Whatever the thing, technically things get corrected, but at the end of the day, if the people are not happy, it will be very difficult. So that is VMI, vendor managed inventories. So you can, see some more videos and, read. There are a lot of papers, a lot of research papers, if you can download and read some of those. The next thing in terms of collaboration that people have implemented the concept is collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment. Simply we call CPFR. So collaborative planning and forecasting and replenishment. Collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment. What happens here? Now, one of the organizations in Sri Lanka, this has been implemented is actually Unilever. So if you go to Unilever supply chains, they are very thorough. They have systems. They have done software as well to link suppliers very closely, collaboratively, and planning has been made very strong. And planning will have to do the forecasting as well, using very high, the advanced tools of forecasting with SAP. So the collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment. So this is basically an advanced version, an intelligent, basically mechanism, which will basically link many partners in the planning and fulfillment of in order to fulfill the demand of the customers. So therefore, in the supply chain, those who are sell and buy, they are collaborating along with the supply chain. So in many areas, in the strategic planning area, analysis area, demand and management area, execution area. So you ensure that in all areas, these things are happening. So strategic planning, demand, supply chain, execution, and analysis. So these are the areas. So in such a way that you will plan that things will be working as per the plan. So the common CPFR, some scenarios. So CPFR, retail event collaboration. So where applied in supply chain when it comes to retail event collaboration. So promotions, channels, different categories of products, and industries were applied. So all industries, other than the practicing that everyday low prices, you don't have to actually, because you are giving the best already. Then distribution center, replenishment and collaboration, retail, DCO, distribution network, drug stores and hardware groceries, store supplements, collaborations, direct store to deliver, sorry, DC to store, mass merchandisation, and collaborative assortment planning, apparel and seasonal goods and departmental stores where they sell these products. So CPFR, collaborative planning, forecasting and replenishment. So there's store replenishment collaboration from the store. You are issuing from the store and again you replace the quantities that store has sold. So collaborative assortments, also organizational and technology, this is very important. So for you to be successful in this area, you need to have that particular special technology as well. So the risk and hurdles for CPFR implementations are there. There are so many setbacks, so many basically hurdles. So CPFR then, so you have here category team, merchandise, so they have the categorization, the different categorizations, routing items, bottleneck items, right, the strategic items. All these, at the end of the day, you are collaborating in between the parties, so CPFR process in detail. So you can see different stages of the CPFR project. So you have front-end agreements and the joint business plan, that is collaborative planning. So you have joint business plans and front-end agreements in terms of customers, basically retailers and wholesaler dealers. So there you will be planning, that is the planning aspect. Then you are coming to collaborative forecasting. So forecasting will be creating the sales forecast. Anyway, sales forecast is the number one. Then other forecast will follow. So identify the exceptions and resolve exceptions. So the other than the forecast, other than the normal demand, there can be other demands. Maybe you are doing a project and for the project also you need items. So that is an exception. So you have to manage exceptions, not getting into other normal stream. Then you have 6, 7, 8, create order forecast, identify exceptions and resolve exceptions in terms of collaborative replenishment. Then you are generating the orders. So these are the 9-step process of collaborative planning and forecasting. So these are the 9 steps again. So you can see agreements and all these different steps and create order at the end of the day. Then identify exceptions and manage exceptions and then order generation as the 9th step. So you can go through this flow chart and try to. So the rest, we have already discussed these things, different steps of the CPFR. So the coordination in practice, how you will be achieving. Bullwhip effect is one of the critical things as we have already discussed. So you have to quantify that, how much. Whatever you do in this particular area, you have to get the support of the top management. Whatever you do in the organization, this is a must. Resources to coordination, you'll have to allocate, you'll have to devote, focus on communication with different other stages, try to achieve coordination in the entire supply chain, not in one or two organizations. So you need to definitely use technology and share the benefits of coordination and equitably. So you have to basically share profits in other words, among the stockholders or the shareholders. So coordination in the supply chain, as we have already discussed. So these are the things, quantify and all these things. So this is about then collaborative planning and forecasting, CPF. At the end of the day, you are replenishing. So let's look at one more area. It is from the customer side, how you should be looking after or how should you give a service to the customer. So which is the customer service at the end of the day. So let's open the file. Give me a second, please. At the same time, it is 8:56 now. Can you have about 10 minutes break? I hope it will be okay with you.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So the time now is 8:56. So maybe till 9:05 or 9:06, let's have a small break. Thank you very much. Okay, I hope you can hear me and you can see the presentation. Can you all hear me and can you see the presentation? Situ, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you and presentation is visible.
Okay, thank you very much. So what is customer service? We were talking about coordination in the supply chain. So one of the aspects of coordination, there are two sides. Then you have suppliers and you have customers. So CPFR kind of things, tools, it basically focuses on the forecasting and getting things from the suppliers mainly. So that is, but here other side is basically the customer service. How do you, or customer relationship management, you might call in certain cases, but how do you service the customers? What is customer service? One of the critical things for supply chains to be successful at the end of the day. If you don't service your customers properly, it decides whether you will be existing in the market or whether you will be wiped out from the market. So what do you mean by a customers? What is customer service in? Basically, how a company deals with its consumers or during or after the purchase. So even after the purchase, sometimes you will engage with. So when you buy a car, there should be free services and maintenance of a car. When you buy air conditioners, there'll be some maintenance, installation, all these things. That is part of customer service. It is a series of activities at the end of the day to enhance the level of customer satisfaction. You just don't sell air conditioner and not engaging with after that. No, you might support the customer to install it and maintain it in the long run. And that will enhance the customer service definitely. Anything will be like that. You might install a roller door to your garage. Installation should happen. Just because you are buying the roller door, you will not be able to get it installed. Maybe you might go for a solar energy plan. Just because you paid and purchased solar panels, it will not be the case. The supplier should supply the installation of it, getting it connected, running it, and maybe even some level of training getting involved. So all these are part of and also in the long run, cleaning and maintaining the solar panels also. So all these will be part of the supply chain and part of the customer service. So let's see what Mahatma Gandhi said about customer service. I hope you can see it. Can you all see it, please? Situ, can you see it?
Yes, sir, but yeah, now it is visible, yeah.
Okay, Subramaniam, can you see it?
Yes, sir. I can see it.
Okay. Yeah. Can you please read it?
Yeah.
Read it loud for everybody.
A customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business. He is part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so.
Right. I think you have learned the total lesson of customer service when you read it. The total, the gamut of supply service has been basically concised, summarized to this particular quotation from Gandhi. So he's the most important person in the premises. No two words about it. Customer is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He's not an interruption in our work, but he is the purpose of it. He's not an outsider, he is part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him, but he has done a favor us by creating an opportunity to serve him. And because of that, we can survive. Because customers are giving us an opportunity to serve them, therefore we can survive. In some boutiques and places, I can see this has been printed, it is framed and hung on the wall. But I don't know whether they live with that. So if you can live with this, definitely you can sustain your organization. So customer service, therefore, it is some people say it is movement of truth as well. So which customer comes into contact with any aspect of the organization gets an impression on the quality of service. A good customer service is all about improving the movement of truth, which is right. So there are some facts here. Typically, when you handle a customer in a poor manner, 68% of customers are lost. So they don't come back. So, but it is cheaper to keep customers than to gain new customers if you can't retain. So 68% of the customers, if you can retain, it will be much cheaper rather than doing a lot of promotions to get new customers in. One thing, customers, remember, they are not obliged to tell you that they are unhappy. Customers are not obliged to tell you that they are happy also. It is up to you to make them happy and satisfied. So customer may be a person, organization that who are buying your product or services, or users, persons, organizations who are directly as an end user, and suppliers who are supplying the products and services to customers. Then, very basics. The term customer is basically a person, anyone, organization who interact with for a product or service, and we are the supplier then. It can be internal, it can be external. So yeah, we have got internally in the organizations, internal customers, and externally in the organizations, external customers. Now, so what Dawase Tokka says, අඳුළු පුරවාගෙන එන ජනතාව සිනාසිසී ගෙදර යැවීම රජයේ සේවකයන්ගේ වගකීමයි. මොකද රජයේ සේවකයන්ගේ වගකීම තමයි රජයේ සේවකයන්ට පඩි ගෙවන කස්ටමර්ස් රට සලකන එක. කවුද එතකොට රජයේ සේවකයන්ට පඩි ගෙවන්නේ? ටැක්ස් ගෙවන මහ ජනතාව. හැබැයි මහ ජනතාවට සේවය කරන රජයේ සේවකයෝ මොනරු පියාඹුවේ නැත්තම් සර්විස් එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේසේ යටින් අත දාලා මොනරව ඉල්ලනවා. මොනරව දුන්නේ නැත්තම් සර්විස් එකක් නැහැ. ෆයිල් ටික මේ පැත්තෙන් අනිත් පැත්තට යන්නේ නැහැ. මොනරව පියාඹන්න. ඒකද customer service. එතකොට it is everybody's business, not only the people who are serving the customers, is everybody in the organization, including the security officer in the gate, receptionist, people who are doing cleaning services or administration or running the cafeteria or whatever it is. All the people who are doing some work in the organization are responsible for customer satisfaction. So customer service is not just the best, but that it is legendary. It is at the end of the day, decide to what extent you will be sustaining your organization. So when it comes to customer service, a good customer service, just give me a second. The power connection is not there. Okay. So they're supplying customers with what they want to the standard and specifications they want, with a predictable and acceptable degree of liability and uniformity. And at the end of the day, we should be able to offer a price that fit for them. So it is not just simple thing. We have to give what the customer wants at the right level of specifications, what they really want, or the standard, an acceptable degree of liability. Uniformity should be there, especially with the service, or especially with the products that you are offering to the customers. One day you are supplying very good quality, second day 4+, third day average. It is not the case. The train every day should come to the station as per the timetable. Sri Lankan government railway general manager says 70% of the train trips are late, 10% are cancelled, only 20% on time. ජපානයේ නම් 10 පාරක් මිනිස්ටර් එල්ලිලා මැරෙනවා. 70% of the late trains are late and 10% cancelled and only 20% on time. 2016 survey, Japan, millions of train trips in a year. Total year, millions of train trips, millions of kilometers. All trains, the total delay is only 2.14 seconds. That means 99.99999% trains are on the time. You can't calculate this. Human eye basically will not see this. It is the computer who have calculated this nanoseconds and all, total up to 2.14 minutes, not seconds, 2.14 minutes. So see the level of customer service. Apé 70% of the trains are late, 10% cancelled, and 20% only on time. So the customer service is basically set of behaviors. It is a set of behaviors which will decide during the interaction with the customers how customers perceive the behaviors. And it depends on the service quality at the end of the day. When it comes to services, what level of service quality. So customer service concept is basically to provide adequate customer service while controlling the logistic cost and all. It is the ability of logistics management in terms of logistics, because total logistics is a service. Just give me a second. Okay. So you understand, therefore users, maybe we should satisfy them in terms of time, in terms of convenience, in terms of dependability and communication. All these factors are very important. What is the purpose of customer service then? The focus of customer service is creating value for the customers and in the long term. For the company in the long term, creating customers, value. When the customers value the customer service, they receive from suppliers very less likely to look to alternative suppliers or shifting the suppliers or going to competitors. Therefore, customer service will enable organization to be ahead of the competitive advantage. So the customer service, very important at the end of the day. It is what is one of the things that the quality of the service is basically determined by the user's perception. It is not what you do, not what you do, not what you do, nor what that at the end of the day. And also, but how your customers perceive what you do and how do you do it. Perception. දැන් අපි මේ සර්විස් එක මේ සෙෂන් එක මම කරන දේම නෙවෙයි මම කියන දේම නෙවෙයි මම කරන විදියත් නෙවෙයි at the end of the day ඔය ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවේ මම කරන මේ සෙෂන් එක රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවේ මම මේ කරන සෙෂන් එක රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද ඒක තමයි තීරණය කරන්නේ මේ සෙෂන් එකේ quality එක. So you all are my customers. The quality of the customer service decides how you see this total thing. What is the perception that I have been able to create in your mind about this session or this series of these sessions is the quality that will decide whether to continue or not about the session. And that is the customer service. And that is the quality. How you will decide. Sorry. Yes. So therefore, the perception that I will be able to create in your mind so depends on my competency. My ability to teach you well will decide whether I will be able to create a positive perception about this session. In certain cases, reliability. You can see the train services in Sri Lanka is totally unreliable. When they say 70% of the trains are late and 10% cancelled, that means 80% there is a variability. 80% of the trails not sure. 10% anyway cancelled, 70% only also not on time. What type of responsiveness, transaction security, trustworthiness, access rights and the way it has been generated to access. All these are part of customer service. So the customers will typically consider all those things as part of the package. It is the package that will decide a positive impact. What is this package? What kind of reliability, service reliability you have in the package, whether it is consistent, speed and timelines, accuracy of the work, paperwork, courtesy, and value of information, service delivery organization, service delivery, attitude of staff, and sometimes they might say, it is not my job. Go to somebody else. Look for the person who is involved with that. But I have noticed some government organizations are really improved now. So they are being given a lot of training and they know that people are coming to them are taxpayers and they pay their salaries. So a lot of people are knowledgeable today. But that we are the people, we are the kings and you all are servants and we are to behave as we say kind of attitude. It is the attitude that the Western say customer is the king. Customer is the king. අපේ මිනිස්සු කියනවා customer is not the king and not the king. That is the still attitude of some government servants of Sri Lanka. So I don't know in this batch how many people are from the government service. And do we have anybody here from the government service? I think Mr. Subramaniam.
Yes, sir. Really, when you tell one of the telecom man told that one Japanese person came to telecom and asked, how do you treat customer? Then the telecom person told that I treat him like king. Then he told, no, you treat him like goat. That is a Japanese theory.
Yeah, right. Actually, we treat customer is not the king and not the king. Not everybody, some still there. I think you are getting a lot of training, I believe, in terms of serving the customers and all nowadays. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anybody else from the government sector? Other than Mr. Subramaniam? Tarini, where are you working? Tarini, can you hear us, please? Upali Ratnayaka?
Yes, sir. Government company, Milko, sir. You know, sir.
Okay, yes, that's why I can remember. That's why I ask. So, what about the service levels now? So you were, one time you were running at a loss, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Now
what about situation? Are you making profits now?
Yes, sir. Some item is profit, but not all.
Okay. Tarini, where are you?
I'm working at water board.
You are from water board, right? Anyway, you all are making profits, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Still, I don't think the services are up to the mark.
And we are improving the customer service. We have certain unit for customer engagement, and we are trying to improve
You should improve, actually. That is one of the critical services. But still, I think, the getting connections, although you have outsourced certain, the connections part, a lot of the areas have been outsourced. And you are supposed, I don't know whether there were some plans to, they initiate some PPPs, private public partnerships. Have you got some of those projects now going?
Still not, but we are working on that. But PPP, but still not, we have any projects.
What are the projects, some projects of PPC that propose?
We have, but we just now initiating, we are created a PPP unit and we are working on that too.
Right.
Lot of PPP projects, yeah.
Right. Okay. I think, that is one of the organizations, actually, a lot of revenue. One of the monopolies in the country. No other organization is basically supplying water. They are the only people who supply water. Therefore, they are a monopoly. At the same time, I think still, out of the total revenue of the water board, significant portion go for salaries. Some time back, it was about 70%. I don't know now. About 70% of the total earnings of the water board back again distributed to people as salaries. See the salary bill of water board. We are running at a loss and we are almost almost making losses. Therefore, we need to increase the rate scale at Kiano. Please check. I don't know. I'm not sure whether still you are having such a high, salary bill. But just check these things. And one of the organizations where you are interacting with the general public, and general public expect your service, like CEB, like any other organization. So need to improve, definitely. Right. So the customer service, in terms of service quality, so there are two dimensions. One dimension will be definitely the people involved with the customer service and people involved with interactions with the general public or the customers. So no point, maybe you are highly qualified, all those things are there the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of qualifications under your name. But still, if you don't know how to handle a customer, still an issue. But procedural dimension, maybe you have systems, procedures, all these things develop and place to serve the customers. And you are then meeting the requirements of the customers through the systems. So this system change is very important. The system change will be basically when you offer it to the general public, the people will be accustomed to the systems, and people always will be improving the systems, and people will expect you to improve the systems as well. But here in Sri Lanka, ours basically getting things converted to systems are very slow compared to other countries. Therefore, as you all know, and I think we did the calculations, we have 22 million people. We have 1.6 million government servants. So we have about 13 to 1 kind of a proportion. Hammer පුරවැසියෝ 13 දෙනෙකුටම රජයේ සේවකයෙක් ඉන්නවා. At least one government servant for every 13 citizens of Sri Lanka. But still, we are very slow. It takes a lot of time to get the things done. One of the reasons will be then poor implementation of systems. And as a result, the customer service is also poor. But one advantage for the many customs organizations, many government organizations is ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සු දන්නේ නැහැ රජයේ සේවකයන්ගෙන් සේවය ලබා ගන්න ඉන්න මිනිස්සු දන්නේ නැහැ ඒ සේවය කොච්චර හොඳට ලබා දිය යුතුද කියලා. ඒක ඇඩ්වාන්ටේජ් එකක් රජයට. දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදියට පාස්පෝර්ට් එක සල්ලිත් ගෙවලා one day service එක ගන්න මිනිස්සු පාන්දර 4ට කිව්ව එක ඇවිල්ලා බාර දීලා ආපහු 3 වෙනකන් ඉන්නත් උනා. ඉන්න තැනක් තියනවද? washroom facilities එහෙම කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? ඒකක් බොන්න කෑම කන්න හරියට තැනක් තියනවද? එතකොට ඒ එන මිනිස්සු දන්නේ නැහැ මේ සර්විස් එක රජයෙන් ලබා දෙන්න ඕන කියලා. ඒකේ ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එක දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ මිනිස්සුන්ට ලොකු දෙයක් අන්තිමට දවසෙන් පාස්පෝර්ට් එක ගත්තා කියන එක. Do you agree with me, Mr. Subramaniam?
Yes, sir.
අන්තිමට කියනවා සුබ්‍රමණියම් හරි හොඳ මහත්තයා මාව පැයක් පොලිමේ තිබ්බේ නෑ මම පැයකටත් අඩු කාලයක් පොලිමේ හිටියේ සුබ්‍රමණියම් මහත්තයා මට හොඳට වැඩේ කරලා දුන්නා කියලා. පැයක් පොලිමේ හිටපු එක පැයයි නම් පොලිමේ හිටියේ අපේ රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ට හරි ඉහළයි. ජපානයේ මිනිස්සුන්ට විනාඩි 5 පොලිමේ හිටියොත් ඒ ආයතනය ඉවරයි. පැයකින් වැඩේ කරලා දුන්නොත් පැයක් පොලිමේ ඉඳලා මේ මිනිස්සුන්ට හරි ඉහළයි. ඒ ටයිම් වැලියු ඔෆ් මනි කියන එක මිනිස්සුන්ගේ මොකද මිනිස්සුන්ට ඕන තරම් කාලය තියෙනවා අපේ රටේ නාස්ති කරන්න. ඒ පැයකින් වැඩේ කරලා දුන්නා කිව්වම ඒ මිනිස්සු සතුටු නැහැ. මොකද ඒ මිනිස්සුන්ට කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ සමහරක් වෙලාවට. ඒක ඉක්මන් වැඩි. So that kind of those are some of the criticisms that we have. One of the things there may be the lack of procedures. And the personal dimension, සුබ්‍රමණියම් මහත්තයා ළඟට කෙනෙක් තමන්ගේ වැඩේ කරගන්න ආවම සුබ්‍රමණියම් මහත්තයා මසාර කතා කරන්නේ කොහොමද? වාඩි වෙන්න පුටුවක් දෙනවද? කෑම කාලා දාවේ තේකක් බිව්වද? තේකක් බීලා එනවද? තේකක් ගෙනත් දෙනවද? තේකක් arrange කරනවද? මේ personal dimension එක මූණේ හිනාවක් තියනවද නැද්ද? මේ ඔක්කොමත් එක්ක තමයි අන්තිමට මේ දෙකම ගැට ගැහිලා තමයි customer service කියන එක ගොනු වෙන්නේ. The consolidated aspect of both of these two will be the customer service. And these are the two dimensions at the end of the day. The two dimensions of customer service. The personal dimension is quite important. So that is the interpersonal sales. That is how you are interacting with the other person. That is your attitude. That is your behavior. And how you will be communicating with the other person, with the customer. And how do you present yourself? Your presentation of yourself is also matters. Then teacher කෙනෙක් විදියට ලේඩි කෙනෙක් ළමයි ඉස්සරහට යන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක එයා අඳින්නේ මොනවද? මොන වගේ ඇඳුමක්ද? ඔළුව පීරලාද? නීත්ද? මූණේ හිනාවක් තියනවද? ක්ලාස් එකට යනකොට. These things matters. Same thing with the people in the office. When you are interacting with the general public. සමහරක් ඉන්න මූණේ හිනාවක් නැහැ ඔරවගෙන very rough words. There itself people will decide what level of service that you are giving. So sometimes organizations will be 100% customer focused. The staff should be then customer focused. It is very important then in such a situations the personal touch, appearance, attitude, communication, style, the manner you are speaking to the people, telephone, whether you are rough or friendly, the friendliness. So all these are part of the customer service, how you speak, all these things. And sometimes how you will be interacting with the customers. Now, how you will be communicating, maybe by notices on the organization, by notices to the general public, documents, address to people, registered letters, telephone, video, or these kind of Zoom sessions. But still, people found that most effective and richest mode of communication is face-to-face. Still, the most richest and effective mode of communication. Face-to-face. ගිහිල්ලා හම්බෙලා කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. Unlimited words, unlimited facial expressions, unlimited body language. To make the conversation effective. මේ එකකවත් මේ අනිත් other mode of communication මේ එකකවත් මේ level එකේ richness එකක් නැහැ. The most richest mode of communication in the world. So remember, Sometimes customers are arguing. Sometimes customer may not be always right. But still, he is always the customer. Remember that. Customer may not be right sometimes. But still, always, he is the customer. So there are some points how you will be improving the customer service. A 7-point plan. Serving the customer point to point. පටන් අරගෙන ඉවර කරනකම්ම point to point customer service එක දෙන්න ඕන. The people who are coming to you, maybe till he gets things done, you have to follow and you have to finish there. හරි නේද මහත්තයා? එන වැඩේ ඉවරයි නේද? Right, thank you, goodbye කියන තැනට එනකම් පටන් ගත්ත තැන ඉඳලා point to point service එක දෙන්න ඕන. Your language will be plus plus plus. You have to visualize the outcome. හරි මේ මනුස්සයට මම මේක කළා දුන්නා මෙන්න මේ විදියට මේ මනුස්සයා hina වෙලා යයි. It is beyond the mark. Always, if you can get the name, customer's name, because this is the most sweetest word in the world. Anybody's name to him is the most important word in this world. Do you all agree with me? So if you can address the customer by his name, Mr. Subramaniam, ඇයි මොකටද ආවේ? මොනවද මගෙන් කෙරෙන්න ඕන? Mr. Subramaniam, තේක බීලා දාවි. Mr. Subramaniam, උදේට කාලද? And how happy you will be. ගෙදර ගිහලා කියයි එමත් මට නම කියලා කතා කරනවා. So that is the most important word in any language, any country, to any person. When you are interacting with the customer, start very high. At the same time, finish high. Good morning, කොහොමද කාලෙකින් දැක්කේ එන්න වාඩි වෙන්න මොනවද කරන්න ඕන? හරි නේද? එහෙනම් වැඩේ හරිනේ. අන්න හරි. එහෙනම් ආපහු එන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. හොඳේ. Bye bye. Start and end both high. If you promise, okay, අද මෙහෙමයි තත්ත්වය, අද මෙන්න මේකයි, අද මේක වැඩේ විදිහට කරගන්න බෑ. ඔබතුමා දැන් යන්න. හෙට උදේ 10ට මාව ඇවිල්ලා හම්බ වෙන්න. හැබැයි හෙට උදේ 10ට කියන්න එපා වැඩේ කෙරුන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. කරන්න බෑ කියලා. Keep your promises. The 7 points of customer service. So when it come to customer service, so you have so many other models, but one of the things that you should understand is there are 3 stages, customer service phases. The first phase of customer service is pre-transaction. Customer service එකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Pre-transaction phase. Transaction එකක් කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Suppose now you wanted to do a master's program. You want to follow a master's. Use that is before you engage with the masters. Pre-transaction. So you must have been talking to people, ask people what masters are available. You would have asked, okay, once you have heard about Open University Master's Program, you would have asked your friends, how is it? Maybe you would have talked to the people who are following it. Maybe you have spoken to some of your lecturers and asked how things are done, how it is, whether it is completed on time, what is the quality of it, what area is covered. Maybe you have compared it with other masters offered by government universities, other masters offered by private universities, all those things. Or you may have logged into the website of OUSL and going into the details of the master program. ඔය ඔක්කොම pre-transaction phase. Transaction එක වෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා. You would have seen the policy statements and service organizational structures, how the customer service done, system design karapu, all this would have gone through before you enter into the program. Then coming to the transaction phase, you have paid subscriptions and you have entered now into the program. Transaction is done. Then what matters? Now it is being delivered. It is being, even today we are having a session to deliver what OUSL promised to you. So delivery should have the consistency. It should be convenient for you all. Postponement kind of things, that is a different type of postponement. Product substitutes in terms of different other commercial products, these things. So what kind of reliability? How now you are in the, for 2.5 years almost, you will be in the transaction place. You are delivered. Then you are coming to post-transaction after the delivery. Now you have the graduation is done, you have got the certificate and you are a master, you have a master now, MSc in this particular area, procurement and supply chain. Now, after that, what will happen? You will be joining the alumni of OUSL. If it is a product, maybe you have got an AC installed. So if you have certain things are not done properly, so you'll be complaining, customer complaints. Then you will expect to install it and commissioning and train you, and in the long run, even training, give you updates. When you buy a laptop today, if you are buying a laptop, you will pre-transaction phase, you will be scanning and see what laptop, what brand I should buy, and all these things. Then you will be doing the transaction and you will be buying the laptop. Then your systems are installed and all these things. Then continuously you are getting updates, maybe Windows updates and various other updates. It can be the same thing with your phone. So that is post-transaction phase. Still you are not forgotten. Your systems will be updated. If you are attacked by a virus, you will be informed. Viruses will be cleaned. Those services will be given. So that is post-transaction phase. So any customer service, you will have pre-transaction, post-transaction, and transaction. Those are the 3 phases. So when it comes to a service attributes will be the process, delivery consistency, delivery frequency, stocks availability in the case of material or products, and whether you will be able to get some level of credit facilities. Order processing time, dependability, stock financing, service support, handling convenience, whether the lead times are longer or shorter, dependability, how people are communicated and how you are communicated, what modes. All those matters then. So the fill rate, in full delivery, as you promised, whether you are flexible and what level of integrity, honesty that you maintain. In customer service, there are different types of value-added services. That these are the things that will make your brand, your job more richer. If you can offer these value-added services, you buy a product, you buy a washing machine from Siger, you buy furniture from Damro, and you are given free customized transportation. The refrigerator will be delivered free of charge. The furniture that you have purchased will be delivered free of charge. Not only free of charge. So when I purchase some furniture from 80 Kure. They delivered free of charge. Not only that, they brought the SETI and a technician came with the spray paints and all. අර හිරිච්ච අරෝමේ ඔක්කොම ආපහු පේන්ට් කරලා අර පොළවේ හැඩයට හිටින්න ගානට යට කපලා. So they were doing even up to that extent, not just delivered, totally customized, and different payment collection methods. Not only by cash, by check or by card, even account transfers and various other payment methods. Price marking and delivery, product mixing, the way you want, cross-docking services as an inventory management, consignment tracking, all these things, reverse logistics. All these are certain value-added services in terms of logistics, warehousing, inventory management area that organization can offer. So when you are getting an excellent customer service, you can see, you can judge maybe by the appearance of the people whether you are going to get a good service. If the people are knowledgeable and if you are addressed by a friendly staff, that then confidence is built. The staff behave in a professional manner. Their dress code is very professional. Staff, rather than talking, vacha, they are listening to you. And what they did, they said they would do. They say what they do what they say. And emotional part, caring attitude, very prompt responses. They don't take days and days to respond to an email. Genuine, always smiling, and treated me as a real human being. And they seem proud of what they did. Very courtesy levels are very high, friendly, and so these things, just think whether you practice, and you can download some tools from the internet and you can do the sales assessment and see in terms of customer service where you are. But when the customer service is poor, you can see people how they are blaming. Nobody seems to have a clue what they are doing. Sometimes they don't know what they are doing. Nobody explains. Customers are kept waiting. Customers are ignored. They treat me as that now it was my fault, and you go and complain, it is. They said they will get back, they never get back. They blame it. Okay, my system එක වැරද්ද, මේක අපේ වැරද්ද නෙමෙයි, system එකට blame කරනවා. And they were busy doing something else, and I was an interruption to them, totally against what Gandhi said. They think that you are an interruption. But Gandhi said, you are not an interruption, you are part of it. And so they maintain standards, supply, or in terms of supply chain or otherwise, customer service standards are written, communicated well, and the people are trained. Objectives are very clear. So it can be any role of the supply chain in the case of customer service. What are the 4 principles then? The organizations is fully committed. All staff are aware and committed the vision of excellent customer service care. And they are trained and they know what they are doing. All staff are trained to provide the highest quality. And systems and procedures are designed to enhance the customer care. So where are we getting these kind of services? Why customers may be upset? they had to wait too long. Their expectations were not met. They feel helpless. They feel no one is listening to them. They were treated poorly or no courtesy at levels at all. They were told to do something by a staff person and it was wrong. They have personal prejudices and they want to control or manipulate you. And they don't trust anyone in the business. And your staff person argue with you. You are arguing. Sometimes when you argue with some government officers, ඒ වැඩේ කෙරෙන්නෙම නැහැ. I have that kind of experience. When you argue with some officers, they will never do it. You are delayed, you are called, ප්‍රශ්යාදු කරනවා, එන්න කියනවා, නෑ, like that. So this is how, in certain cases, not all, there are very good people as well as the other side. So the perception of the customer at the end of the day, that is how you are measured. If you have been able to create a positive perception, that's it. So the customer complaints should be welcome. So those are the things coming in different forms, good things. And complaints create an opportunity for you to correct your behaviors, correct your mistakes. So how you do manage complaints, because that is very crucial then. So when you get a complaint, how you will be managing it. So it might be sometimes challenge to your a challenge to your reputation, but you should handle it in such a way that you are converting it to gain more reputation. So treat the person as an individual who has feelings, values, and sense of self-worth. If a person is coming to complain, a lot of emotional feelings will be there. Let the customer have their say. Listen to them. Say sorry. Listen actively. Get the facts and question. Keep an open mind. Don't make assumptions. Don't argue. Don't be defensive. And try and find out what outcome the customer wants at the end of the day. What does he want really? And concentrate on what you can do and don't impose your own solution. Summarize and check that the customer understands and agree a timeline. If you want further corrections, further things to do, tell the customer, okay, 1 week's time I'll contact you and give you this feedback. So like that. So the proactive view of customer complaints, customers are welcome, learn from customer complaints, opportunities for learning. Customers are very, very seriously if they complain. They are very serious. They have taken a lot of time to sometimes complain. The customers may be sometimes not right, but still they are customers, as I said. The factors which could add value to customers may be friendly, helpful. So we have discussed these characteristics. Staff displaying appropriate body language, how staff greet the customers, staff with good soft skills. Okay, so these are some of the areas. Then please read it. I will anyway send tonight these presentations to the coordinator. You will be definitely getting it. Any questions or anything that you would like to say or share or in terms of customer service? Anybody? What can you say? Yes, Situ, anything to add?
Yes, according to my, yes.
Please.
According to my practical experience, I have a comparison with Sri Lanka and Australia.
Okay.
Australian people has a very great customer service comparing to Sri Lanka.
Okay. Can you please, explain one or two points on what points you are judging that way?
Yes, the responsiveness and
Mhm.
accountability.
Yes,
And,
of course.
yeah, responsiveness always when we send an email, they respond it at their earliest, and if there is a mistake, always they apologize and correct it immediately. I have I have an experience. One supplier sent me a item with a short quantity, then and complained him. After that, he sent me that whole PO quantity free, at free of charge.
Mhm. Right.
And it is very
Okay, thank you
easy
very
to.
much. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Thank you.
So there are a
Thank you,
lot of
sir.
learnings actually. So as we if we can get all the participants' views on this like yours, there should be so many stories, and that itself will be a great learning.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and thank you so much for making the lesson very interactive and interesting. All the best then, and good night. Bye
Good
bye.
night, sir. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Okay. Bye. Good night. Bye bye.